Hello everyone, I am Hema Sati Sharma and students we are discussing the chapter called Water, a Precious Resource. Before taking the chapter, we will be learning some quick facts. As we know that water is a very precious resource and it is the basic need of all living organisms. So 22nd is celebrated as World Water Day. 22nd March is celebrated as World Water Day to bring awareness among the people about the conservation of water. Again, what is conservation? Conservation is wise and judicious resource of any judicious use of any resource. So here we are talking about conservation of water. In addition to this, 2003 was called as the International Year of Fresh Water, which was to bring awareness among the people about the importance of water as a resource and why the water is depleting at such a fast rate. So we'll see how much water is available on the earth and how this distribution of water on the earth is there. So we know that 71% of the earth is water. That is 71% of the earth is covered with water and only 29% is land. Then also we say that water is a scarce resource. Why is it so? However, because this 71% is not available for consumption by the living organism. So here in this graph, you can see that Earth's water, the 71% of the Earth is covered with water, and out of 90% of that water is saline water, and it cannot be consumed by living organism. So the water which can be consumed by living organism is fresh water, and it is only 3% of that water. Right? And now this 3% is 68.7% in ice caps and glaciers, and groundwater is 30.1%, and 0.9% is which is from other resources like rivers, lakes, etc. Now, if you come to this surface water, which is this 0.9%, 0.3% is in lakes. The lakes contains 87%. And swamps contain 11% and rivers contains 2%. Okay, so now here you can see that the water which is available for living beings to be used is only 3% of the total water which is on earth. And that 3% contains 68.7% in ice caps and glaciers, groundwater is 30.1%, surface water is 0.3% and other is 0.9%. And out of that surface water which is available for living beings, lakes contains 87%, swamps 11% and rivers 2%. So the figure given above in the previous slide represent that 90% of the earth water is saline, as I described, that is present in the ocean, and 3% of the earth's water is fresh, that is present in ice caps, glaciers and underground. Now this fresh water can be obtained from underground rivers and lakes. Now, even then, just 1% of this fresh water is easily accessible, with much of it trapped in glaciers and snowfield. Now, we'll be discussing different forms of water. So, we know that water exists in three states, that is solid, liquid and gas. Solid state in water exists in the solid form as ice and snow on the earth. Liquid state mein water exists in the liquid state in river, lakes, oceans and under the ground. Gaseous state, water exists as water vapor in the atmosphere. So see, this we have seen in our daily life in the form of ice. Water is available in the form of ice, which is a solid state, liquid, water per se, and water vapors in gaseous state. And these three are interchangeable. Like we have studied physical changes. So conversion of solid to liquid and liquid to gas of water is a physical change. And this happens in our environment in the form of water cycle. So we all know from our previous learning that the water which is present on earth evaporates by the heat of sun. It condenses and make clouds, and whenever the load is more, it becomes heavier, it precipitates, and again it becomes water and fall onto the earth in the form of rain. So this is called water cycle. So this water cycle is a natural process and it continuously happens on earth. The water cycle is responsible for maintaining the amount of water on the earth. The water cycle can be divided into 4 phases as we saw in the previous slide. Evaporation, that is conversion of liquid into vapors. It is a process when the water from the earth's surface gets converted into water vapor because of the heat of the sun. The water vapor then gets into the air. Next is condensation. So the water vapor which have risen up in the atmosphere, they get accumulated above, they condenses and form water droplets. These droplets collect together and form the clouds. Now comes precipitation. When the volume of droplets increases in the atmosphere, it falls on the earth as rainfall and also called precipitation. Sometimes in some areas where temperature is low or high altitude, this rain or this precipitation also occur as snowfall. In our next lecture, we will be studying about the collection of water. Thank you.